Every footballer starts at the same place, right at the beginning. Maybe you just picked up a ball, or maybe you've been playing for a while, but you don't know how to take things further. When I was a beginner, I remember how overwhelming it all felt and how distant my goals seemed. But here's the truth. You don't need to have it all figured out yet. On this channel, my goal is to help you figure out those things along the way and get you closer and closer to realizing your football dreams. This video is part of my Masterclass football series, which is a place where I share everything that I've learned over the past 18 years to help players at every level succeed. And today, I'll guide you through the first steps and the basics that every footballer needs to build a strong foundation. I'll talk you through the most important steps to take in your journey right now. I'll guide you through the simple exercises that anyone should be able to do no matter where you're at. And I'll share mindset techniques that I've learned over the years to help you make faster progress and a whole lot more. This is your starting point, and it's probably going to be the most important step of your journey. Are you ready? Then let's begin. When I think back to the early days, I remember how it all started with a simple desire. And at first, it wasn't even clear where that desire would take me. I just knew that I loved the game. And here's the thing, if you're watching this right now, that's a big sign that you have the same desire, that drive to improve and to see where this journey can take you. This desire is key, because without it, the work can feel overwhelming. But because you're here, because you clicked on this video, I know that you have that desire, and that's a powerful start. So let's build on that together. So the first thing I want to tell you is this: don't be afraid to dream big. Whatever you're hoping to achieve, whether it's playing professionally, representing your country, or just becoming the best player that you can possibly be, don't limit yourself. Our dreams, they are the thing that fuels us. They give us purpose and a reason to keep pushing forward. Our dreams are what makes the hard days worth it, because even when things get tough, you have this clear vision in your mind that's pulling you forward. When I was younger, I remember having huge dreams, like playing for the biggest clubs, winning trophies, and even seeing myself as a future Ballon d'Or winner. And honestly, those dreams were so big that sometimes they felt impossible. But that's the thing, they kept me going. When I fell low on motivation, or when training got hard, or when I doubted myself, it was those dreams that kept me coming back to the field. Think about it, a small dream might be easier to achieve, but it won't give you the same kind of drive. If your dreams are too small, you might find yourself getting discouraged when things don't go perfectly, or even losing motivation altogether. But a big dream, that's something that stays with you, because it's a reminder every single day of what you're working towards. It pushes you to be better, even on those days where you're not feeling like you're making any progress. And even if you don't reach exactly where you're aiming, that journey itself will take you far beyond where you get if you never allowed yourself to dream big in the first place. So don't hold back, write those dreams down, say them out loud if you need to. Picture yourself achieving them, because even if they seem distant right now, that's where you start, by letting yourself believe that it is possible. Now, let's get into 3 of the most important things that you should keep in mind as a beginner. These are the foundational blocks that will not only help you improve right now, but will also support you as you progress in your career. Number 1, don't take it too seriously. The first piece of advice I have is this: don't be afraid to let go and have fun. When you're just starting out, your main focus should be on enjoying the game. Now, I know how hard this can be because I struggle with it myself, and I have spoken about this before in previous videos that for a long time in my career, I was a complete perfectionist. I would tense up, I would overthink everything I did, and honestly just lose my natural flow because I was so focused on getting everything exactly right. I thought that if every single play wasn't perfect, or if I didn't follow the perfect training plan, I wasn't really improving. But what I learned over time is that focusing too hard on getting everything right can and will hold you back. It can make you hesitate, and it can make you over-analytical, and it can even take away the joy altogether of playing football. What I eventually realized is that the players who go the furthest are the ones who love the game enough to keep coming back, even when things get tough. So for now, let go of the need to do everything perfectly. Take a breath and play for the love of the game, and trust that improvement will come as long as you keep showing up and you keep being consistent. When you find yourself just enjoying the game, I promise you, that is when you'll play at your best. Number 2, a beginner mindset. The second key principle is to develop a specific type of mindset. Right now, you don't need to have the strongest or most resilient mindset, because that is something that will come over time as you face different challenges and setbacks. But there is one mindset that every beginner should aim to develop from the start, and that is a growth-oriented mindset, or a beginner mindset. This is the mindset that says, I'm here to learn, to improve, and to get better. A beginner mindset means seeing every game, every practice, and every mistake as an opportunity to learn. It's the mentality that keeps you focused on progress rather than perfection. So when things don't go exactly as planned, you don't feel discouraged. Of course, you will have moments of frustration, you will make mistakes, but if you can look at those moments as lessons rather than failures, you'll keep moving forward. This approach to the game is what allows you to build not only your skills, but also develop a strong mentality over time. Number 3, build solid foundations. The third essential step is to focus on building strong foundations. Think of this as setting the stage for everything you'll achieve in the future. When I was younger, I would put a lot of energy into mastering the basics: passing, dribbling, ball control. And looking back, I can tell you that it's those fundamental skills that have carried me through so many stages of my career. Building a solid foundation isn't about the flashy skills, and it doesn't always give you immediate results. But every great player, no matter how advanced, has spent countless of hours working on the same basic skills. The foundations are the framework that supports everything that you will add to your game over time. They may seem small, but they give you the tools to build your skill set and your confidence, which will make you a better player in the long run. But what exactly can you do? How can you start building these foundations? And what foundations should you focus on? Let's head to the pitch and I'll show you a few different places where you can start. So we're out on the pitch, and now I wanted to get a bit more specific about which foundations that maybe you should focus a bit more on in the beginning and which are a bit more important. And I would argue that there's 3 things that you can focus a bit more on, and the first of those is the basic technical skills. And I think the most important here includes your first touch, your passing, and your dribbling or manipulation of the ball. Being able to move around freely and being able to control the ball off in the air or on the ground off your first touch, and then being able to deliver that well to a teammate. If you can master those 3 skills, you're already well on your way to have great technical foundations. The second one for me is awareness and vision, which is more of a cognitive skill, but that is the ability to know what's around you on the pitch at all times. Because if you can do that together with having those technical foundations that I spoke of, then you're able to play at a very high level if you can do that, consistently and do that well. Just look at players like Xavi, Sergio Busquets, who maybe not are the most physical or they're not dribblers, and they weren't really those kind of players, but they're still able to play at a very high level because of their cognitive abilities, like their awareness, vision, decision making, and because they have a good technical foundation of those basic skills. And for the third one, I would argue that you should focus a lot on your physical conditioning, your fitness, your base level of strength, and build that up as early as you can, because that will help you a lot as you progress. You will have less injuries, which means more time on the pitch. You will be a better athlete, you'll be able to move better, you'll be quicker, you'll endure for longer. So build up a base level of fitness from the start, and it doesn't have to be difficult. And when it comes to exercises for these sort of things, I always say on my channel that you should be creative, but I also know that when you're new to the game, you don't have that much knowledge yet, then it can be hard to know what to do because you don't have that, that level of thinking and how to create exercises and so on. So I just thought I could show you a few different exercises right now that maybe give you a bit of inspiration to start working on these foundational skills and to start progressing in your career. So there are several ways that we can improve our basic technical skills, but one of the best ways that I've found is by doing stuff like dribbling courses. And this is just one example, when I just place the cones out in a random pattern and then I just go around them as quickly as I can and move the ball as well as I can. And you don't need to be overly mindful of where you place the cones, because as you can see here, I just alter the position of some of the cones And then I go again, and it becomes kind of a different exercise where I have different angles, where I have to move my body around in a different way and being able to manipulate the ball in a slightly different way. And depending on where you are in your journey right now, you will adapt this exercise to fit your current level, to make it more easy or to make it more difficult. Another staple and foundational exercise that really every player at every level does is something like a cone weave. This targets more ball mastery, being able to manipulate the ball in smaller spaces, use all different parts of your feet to move the ball around. It can be inside, it can be outside. And to increase the difficulty in an exercise like this, you can make the space between the cones smaller or bigger if you want to make it easier. Another staple is to use a wall, and you can use a wall for a lot of different reasons, or as in this case, I'm using a bench. I can practice my one-touch passing, and as you can see here, I'm also starting to practice my two-touch passing here. And then you can start practicing different kinds of turns, different kinds of first touches into space, mimicking having someone on your back. You can use this as an opportunity to practice your awareness and vision by getting your head up, as I do in a few instances right here. Get into the habit of scanning your surroundings. Practice your first touch in a lot of different scenarios, because that is something that will benefit you hugely when you progress up to different levels of the game. Here I'm also practicing different kind of passing techniques. You can use something like a cone to increase the difficulty that you have to maneuver the ball around the cone. And really, the most important thing is to just play around, try different first touches. Take them into space, keep it close to your body. And if you don't have a wall, this was something I used to do all the time as a kid. Juggle the ball a few times, or if you're not able to juggle, kick the ball up, bring it down, practice your aerial first touch. And something we'll speak about in a few minutes is why you should create habits. And a habit that I got into as a kid was juggling the ball. And I started off like this, just dropping it down, juggling it a few times before getting more and more comfortable and making that a part of my routine to practice my ball control. Then the final foundation to focus on is your finishing ability, where you can curve the ball more like I do here, or you can hit it more with the laces, depending on what kind of technique that you enjoy, but try to practice all of them, find something that suits you. Here I curve the ball again, you can see the technique where you wrap your foot around the ball. And here we have more of a topspin technique, more of a knuckleball type of finish. And these are ones that I alternate between and the ones that I've found works for me. Now you should have some inspiration of a few exercises that you can implement into your routine. But the most important thing, as I said before, is don't take it too seriously and don't overthink things. The most important thing is that you get out here and you do something. It's not so important what you actually do, especially in the beginning. That comes later. When you get more knowledge, you will know better and better what to do. But for now, just get out here and do some of these things, the things that you enjoy the most, and then build upon that. If you want more ideas of different exercises that you can do, I have a bunch of videos on my channel where I go through different exercises, so make sure to check that out. But now, it doesn't help if we only do this once or twice. Consistency is king, and that means that we have to get out here and do this again and again and again. And this can be hard sometimes, but the absolute best way to become consistent is to build habits, and that is what we'll talk about next. Building good and positive habits from the start will make your life as a footballer so much easier. Consistency is one of the biggest factors in improvement, and when it comes to football, those little actions that you take every day, the things that may not feel significant at the time, will compound into greater and bigger things down the line. Now, when we talk about habits, think of them as your building blocks. Imagine each habit as a small brick that you lay down. One brick on its own doesn't look like much, but if you keep laying those bricks day after day, eventually you will have something strong and stable. They create that base you can build on as you aim to go higher and higher. So why is it so important to create positive habits early on? Because it's easy to get distracted by things you can't control. Bad weather, a coach's decision, or even if you're just having a bad day out on the pitch. But your habits are something that you can control. They anchor you in the present moment and provide you with small, manageable goals that keep you moving forward even when things feel challenging. And when you've built up these strong automatic routines, they are what will help you stay disciplined and resilient in the long run. But how can you start building these habits without it feeling too overwhelming? The answer is start small. A habit doesn't need to be something massive or time-consuming in the beginning. Start with something that you can commit to easily, like training dribbling for 5 minutes a day or working on your weaker foot. The key here is consistency. 5 minutes may not seem like a lot, but doing that every day, that adds up. Once you're comfortable with that first habit, start building from there. You could add in a short bodyweight workout routine or spend a few minutes every evening reflecting on your performance. And to make it easier for yourself, reduce the friction. And what I mean when I say reduce the friction is to do the things that will make it easier for you to build the habits that you want. For example, it can be to set reminders on your phone, lay out your gear the night before, or pair your habit with something that you already do. For instance, as you pack your gear for an early morning session, at the same time you can fill up a bottle of water, put it in the fridge, and then you have that ready to go for when you wake up, then you can start hydrating immediately. Then the easiest way to make a new habit stick is to focus on the cue, the routine, and the reward. Pick a specific time each day, maybe after school or before dinner, and commit to your routine, like a few minutes of skill work or whatever it is that you're trying to focus on, and then reward yourself. It can be as simple as a moment to acknowledge what you have accomplished, or if you're more goal-oriented, make a checklist and check that off the list so you can see your streak building up. Over time, this cycle makes the habit feel like a natural part of your day. Remember, the best players aren't just naturally talented, they are the ones who have spent hours doing the small things consistently. Building good habits early on doesn't just make you a better footballer now, it prepares you for the long run, setting you up for a career where improvement feels like a part of who you are. Alright, so you have put in the work, you have started to build a few good habits, and you have started to see some improvements in your game. That's fantastic. But here's the thing, it's just the beginning. The journey of a footballer is never really done. It's about being relentless and continuing to push yourself further and further. Once you've improved, don't just sit back and relax. Think about what's next. The best players are the ones who never settle down. They constantly look for ways to adapt, to grow, and to keep refining their skills. You might have mastered a specific technique or found a new level of fitness, but there's always more to learn and always new challenges to tackle. Think of your improvement as a staircase, where each step up represents a new level of skill and understanding. But here's the thing, once you reach one step, you don't stop and admire the view, you look up to the next one, you figure out how to get there, and then you keep on climbing. This mindset of relentless improvement is what separates good players from the great ones. And don't be afraid to iterate on what you have learned. Maybe a certain technique that you have been practicing on isn't working as well in a match situation as you thought it would, then take a step back, analyze why, and then adjust accordingly. Experimentation is key. This relentless pursuit of growth will not only improve your skills, but it will also build your confidence. Because each time you push through a plateau or adapt to a new challenge, you reinforce the belief that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. So keep pushing, keep adapting, and don't forget that this journey is yours. As you embark on your football journey, remember this: great things take time. Improvement doesn't happen overnight, and that's perfectly okay. The process can sometimes feel slow, and it's easy to get frustrated when you don't see immediate results, but I want you to be patient. Every little bit of progress you make adds up over time, shaping you into the player you want to be. I can think back to when I was a beginner. I didn't become the player I am today in just a few weeks or even months. It was a journey filled with ups and downs, accomplishments and setbacks. Every practice and every game I played was just a stepping stone towards my goals. So, remember to not rush the process, grow at your own pace, and trust that with consistent effort, those small victories will turn into significant gains. But here's the magic. While you're pushing towards those dreams, don't forget to keep the joy alive. This game is beautiful, and it should always bring you happiness. Whether you're practicing solo, playing with friends, or competing in a game, let that love for football take you forward. Remember why you started playing in the first place. It was probably because you love the feeling of the ball at your feet, the thrill of scoring a goal, or the camaraderie with your teammates. Keep that passion close to your heart and let it inspire you to push through the tough days. So stay patient and stay persistent. Celebrate the small victories and let your love for the game fuel your journey. Keep dreaming big, keep working hard, and enjoy every moment along the way. Your dreams are worth chasing, and the joy of the game should always be the friend that you keep the closest. I hope this has given you a solid foundation to start or improve your journey in football. Remember, the journey of becoming a footballer is long, but it is also incredibly rewarding. Stick with it, keep that beginner's mindset, and keep pushing towards your dreams. And don't forget, this video is just one part of my Masterclass Football series, where we dive deep into every aspect of the game. If you found this video helpful, I'm absolutely certain that you'll enjoy this one as well, where I talk you through a step-by-step process of 11 different exercises to take you from 0 to pro. But that's all for this time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.